ADHD isn't real. What is it? Attention deficit hyperactivity disorder. This is not medical advice. I've done no research, but this is what I think. The American, I did no research, but I did just open this just now. The American Psychiatric Association says ADHD is attention deficit / hyperactivity disorder and one of the most common mental disorders affecting children. What about adults? And why are you calling it a disorder? These are some of the reasons I have a problem with this. Symptoms of ADHD include inattention, hyperactivity, impulsivity. The thing is, I have a huge issue with this focus on attention. From what I can tell from my own experience, and I've never been inside anyone else's brain, but I think that like some people have creative brains, and then some people have, I don't know what is even the opposite of creative, but like more organized brains, I guess, more structured brains, more formulaic brains. My brain is constantly like a million circuses at once. It's like fireworks constantly. It's like a party, which is cool-ish. I always have like a lot of ideas and a lot of things I'm thinking of. And this is why I reject this idea of it being so centered on attention. Because unfortunately, a lot of things in life, especially as an adult, but also as a kid in school, are just so boring. And maybe people with non-ADHD brains obviously do have more of an ability to sustain paying attention to boring things. But when you have a creative brain, it's just like, this is not happening. The things I'm thinking of, the things that are over there, anything on earth is often more interesting than whatever you're sitting in school, especially when you're supposed to be just like nicely sitting at a desk. Same as in so many of our jobs. Yeah, I guess it is a lack of attention, but it's more like I got a lot more interesting things that want my attention right now than something boring. I don't think that's a disorder of the individual brain. I think that's just some of our brains can't be bothered with boring shit. Sorry, no offense. When I was growing up in school, I was like constantly daydreaming. This teacher was kind of mean, I feel like, but one of my teachers would make me sit in the hallway a lot. This is also in the dark ages, because I would be doodling, because I found that as long as I'm scribbling and doodling, I'm actually semi-absorbing what's going on. But I mean, no offense to education. Like if you're in school or even in university or whatever, and the topic is boring, it might not be objectively boring, but if it's boring to me, my brain's gonna wander. And I don't think that's necessarily an inability to pay attention. I think that's just like, why would I do this? I'm just not doing something that's boring. And then the fact that they call it a disorder, I don't think it's a disorder that your brain is not cut out to participate in all of these rules of society. I don't know. I'd kill for a bubble tea right now. I don't think this is I'm just so fundamentally opposed, and I think we should all be, as a collective, to this idea that this is a disorder about an inability to pay attention and a hyperactivity. Some people have more energy than others. Some people have an internal motor, as they say. It really feels like, this makes me sound like a conspiracy theorist. It just makes it feel like as if the definition was imposed to categorize the people who weren't falling in line. I know that's crazy. That makes me sound crazy. Is it not important to have people that have creative minds, and do you not need art in this world? It feels like the defining of ADHD is fundamentally going against a creative brain, which is basically like art. Art does not matter. I really actually think that there's Mac brains, like my brain would be a Mac brain, like more creative. And there's Windows brains, which are sort of more structured, I assume. I feel like that would be everyone else's brains, other than maybe, I've actually never seen like Linux. I don't know what Linux looks like, but maybe that's like the engineer brains or something. My brain, and other people with brains like me, is not set up to be inside this very rigid, structured, time-focused, like capitalist organized society. Things at this time, and traffic, and going to places and bringing things, and responsibilities. Like, the way society is structured, my brain just doesn't fit. It doesn't fit, and that's not a disorder. It's not an inability to pay attention. It's that I am like on a different frequency, and it actually sucks. The one thing that I saw that for some reason really resonated with me, because I can't even remember the specifics now, but when I watched Everything Everywhere All at Once, at the end of the movie, I felt like I was suddenly so overwhelmed, because I felt like that was actually somewhat of a representation of how my day-to-day constant, like, inner world feels. The structure of society is just not set up for this kind of brain, and what can we do? This is just a rant. Thanks for coming to my TED Talk. I don't know what I'm trying to achieve with this. So much ADHD talk. We're all hung up on ADHD. And it's all going back to this frickin' definition of hyperactivity and an inability to pay attention and a disorder. If you also have more of a brain that just doesn't fit inside this heavily structured environment of society that we find ourselves in, if you've been diagnosed with such a disorder of ADHD, let me know. I feel like all we can really do at the moment is communicate with each other and have some amount of community about it. And I want to say that, you know, hopefully society evolves to be more accepting of different people's types of brains, but I don't really feel like that's going to happen. But what I would like, my personal dream, something I would like to see is for this type of brain program to not be called a disorder. Thank you. I appreciate you. Like and subscribe if you like it. Brain Space for life. And I will see you next time. Bye.